Tonight we're going in depth on tribal gaming. This week in Oklahoma City, a major tribal gaming convention is underway, and not only does it look at the games of the future, but it also turned political. Two of the leading Republican candidates for governor are both promising better days ahead, not just when it comes to tribal gaming, but relations with the tribes in general. Dakota Wapakichi with our news partner KOCO was at the convention, where they also took a good look at sports betting.
Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association's annual conference showcases the latest games and tech you'll see soon in casinos across the state.
You know, we've been growing.
The chairman of the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association says he's proud of the group's contributions to the state.
Indian gaming is on display, and not just reels like this, but also the potential talk about sports gambling.
You know, we're one of the few states that haven't legalized that yet.
Sports betting went further than ever before in the capital this year, getting 75% of the way to passage. But Governor Kevin Stitt still stands in the way, saying he'd veto any bill that was just for tribes to operate sports betting.
It's not unknown for people that we've struggled with our relationship with the current governor.
And next year is Stitt's last in office. Today, two of Oklahoma's top candidates for governor gave their 2 cents on Oklahoma's casino industry.
I have seen firsthand what the tribal nations do for our communities throughout the state of Oklahoma. We should be working together a lot better than we have been.
I know that we have been out of step with our current governor, but 17 months from now, you're going to have an opportunity to have a governor that recognizes and appreciates the value of Oklahoma's 38 sovereign tribes.
Now that future is why today's conference featured multiple panels on the topic of sports betting that could be here in the years to come.
We will work hard with whoever sits in the chair coming forward to make sure we continue to put our best foot forth, not only from the gaming industry, but just tribal governments in general.
In OKC, Dakota Wapakichi.
This is not just an issue some Republicans are moving in on, but the Democrats are doing it as well. Shortly after she announced her run for governor, House Minority Leader Cindy Munson visited with Cherokee Nation Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. about her run for governor and how to work on issues surrounding tribal sovereignty and better government relations. This month at their state convention, the Democratic Party of Oklahoma also added tribal sovereignty as a top priority in their party's platform. Munson currently is the only Democrat to announce a 2026 run for governor so far. After what will be 8 contentious years under Governor Kevin Stitt, the tribes are clearly hoping that there will be a complete reset with a new governor after next year. We've already seen tens of thousands of dollars from the tribes, tribal officials, and those in the gaming industry flow into the campaign accounts of both Attorney General Gentner Drummond and former Speaker of the House Charles McCall. In just the first quarter of the year, McCall received $47,400 in donations, and Drummond received $27,800 in donations. Now keep in mind, this is very early on. We are waiting for a second quarter reports out, which are due at the end of the month, to see if there are more donations to other candidates made and if tribal campaign cash continues to flow in to McCall and Drummond as well. Unless there is some kind of dramatic change of heart and policy, Governor Kevin Stitt pretty much said we're likely going to have to wait until 2027 when a new governor is in place for legal sports betting, because he and the tribes cannot come to an agreement, and he didn't like any of the proposals on the table by state lawmakers last spring.
No, not disappointed. Actually, if it was the bill that was pushed by the casinos, I would have vetoed it anyway. So I had a piece of great legislation that I've rolled out a couple years ago that we went through all the different, we analyzed the 30 or 40 states that actually have sports book, and we put a great plan together. We've rolled it out, but it's more of a free market approach. And so, like I said in here before, I think the big casinos are the big bosses are waiting till I'm out of office to run that. So we'll see what happens in, I guess, the 27 cycle.
One of the big hang-ups to legalizing sports betting in Oklahoma has also been the desire to share some of that revenue with the home state team, the OKC Thunder. We know the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association started speaking about how a sports betting revenue sharing agreement between the tribes, the state, and the Thunder would work out, but those talks were nowhere near being finalized by the end of legislative session. In states where sports betting is legal, there are revenue sharing agreements with the professional sports teams in their states. After all, that's who they're betting on. It is unique because in Oklahoma, most of the changes to how we gamble have been primarily between the state and tribal casinos, and never have they really involved a third party. In the coming months, the state Senate will hold a formal hearing on a path forward when it comes to trying to legalize sports betting. There was a lot of hope that it was going to get across the finish line last legislative session.
There were some issues with some of the parties involved, just couldn't come to an agreement. It came to me, it wasn't, we were trying to figure out a path for him and, to move forward with this. And he came to me and said that it'd probably be better off if we just studied this over the summer and put it in an interim study.
The interim study called Sports Betting and Why We Don't Have It Yet has not been set yet as far as a date for the hearing, but it is expected to bring in all sides to try to form a path. State lawmakers were ready to move forward on a plan to get voters to approve sports betting without approval being needed from Governor Stitt last spring. But in the end, the tribes, the Thunder, and the state had not officially set their terms yet, and the ability for us to vote on it was never implemented. But it was very close to the finish line. We will cover that hearing when it happens soon.